Hey guys, what's up? It's Greg Shrizvasti with the Find Your Films YouTube channel and podcast. I've been trying to restart and stop and start with this channel, YouTube channel, for the last several years, and I figured life's too short. I have two other YouTube channels. My main primary one is the Deepest Dream YouTube channel, which features all of my exclusive interviews. There are movie reviews as well. There's a secondary channel called Cinematics. Cinematics is a podcast I host with Eric Holmes and Bruce Purkey. It's a weekly movie review podcast. Now, for this third YouTube channel, Find Your Films, you're thinking, what is this channel going to be? Since I already have two channels, what can possibly be special or maybe even interesting about the site? Well, for the last several years, I have done interviews with actors and filmmakers. They've talked about their favorite films, favorite movies. I will put that stuff on this channel, and I will also be doing my solo reviews for television and movie reviews here on this channel. A lot of it, hopefully, a lot of it will be timely. And yes, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things if you want to support a very small channel. And I think, well, not just I think, I know my main goal is to hopefully on a weekly basis, which I do over at Cinematics, but also over here, I want to give you guys a weekly movie recommendation channel where you can actually see, or maybe you've never heard of these movies that are coming out on a given week, and I will point you guys hopefully in the right direction. And then selfishly, I'd love to hear movie recommendations as well from you guys because I only know so much, and I want to learn from you guys as well and your reactions to these respective movies I review, and hopefully movie recommendations you give me, and then I can review them as well. And there's going to be physical media stuff, all that stuff. So I'm back for this third channel, and we'll see where it goes from there. Now, for this particular video, I have a very quick mini review for a movie called The Luckiest Man in America. It's headlined by Paul Water Hauser. And if you don't know Paul Water Hauser, you should. I'm sure you do. If you don't know the name, I'm sure you've seen him as the lead in Richard Jewell. Personally, I'm a Cobra Kai fan. During his very short stint in Cobra Kai, he pretty much stole the scenery. He's a very great actor. He's one of those rare talents to play and give humanity to, in my opinion, very eccentric characters. And he sheds light and hopefully gives layered performances in these roles. That sort of that aesthetic continues with The Luckiest Man in America. The great thing about it is Paul Walter Hauser is the lead. He's also an executive producer on this movie, and he plays this guy named Michael. I believe the name is Michael Larson. It's based on a true story of Larson's successful way of actually gaming the system on this show called Pressure Luck back in the 1980s. He knew how to actually not get whammies. I'm sure most of you or a lot of you know what pressure luck is. People would press their luck, and there was a board with all these wonderful, just colorful characters and dollar signs and different spins and all that stuff that they would play. And if they would say no whammies, no whammies. And if they didn't get a whammy and they got some money or another spin, they would figure out whether or not to press their luck or maybe stop and keep the money that they have already. Now, with this Michael Larson guy, is he essentially, I think, won around over 100,000, specifically 110,000 on pressure luck. I'm not going to say whether or not he was able to keep the money. That is something that you can actually go on Wikipedia to learn. And there's a lot of Wikipedia stuff about Larson as a person, and it's very interesting outside of this movie. So I suggest if you do see this movie, check out the actual real life story of Michael Larson and what he did. As far as this movie goes, the main caveat or the main thing is they warn you guys, it's based on a true story, but there are moments that have been a little bit dramatized, fictionalized for the purposes of drama. Okay, so now this movie is only 91 minutes, and does it work? In my opinion, it hit theaters on Friday, April 4th. It's worth going to theaters if you like indie films and you love Paul Walter Hauser, because this is a very interesting character. Michael is an ice cream truck driver from Ohio, and he tries to get on to the CBS studios and get into Press Your Luck. What happens is from the get-go, he's actually not on that call sheet, that contact sheet, and he finagles his way into the good graces of the main producer. And that main producer is played by David Straithairn. You might know him from that movie Good Night and Good Luck, LA Confidential. He's like Paul Walter Hauser. He's a very talented individual, a very chameleon-like type of actor. And he has a big role in this as the main producer of Press Your Luck. He takes to sort of Michael doesn't seem like the most honest guy, and he's sort of on the grift it seems like a little bit shady, and that TV producer seems played by David Straithairn, seems to like him, and he actually gets him on Pressure Luck against two other contestants played by Brian Garrity and Patty Harrison. What's very interesting about this 91-minute running time is most of the movie takes place in the studio during the taping of Pressure Luck. And since I grew up on Pressure Luck, I loved that show as a kid. As a teenager, I'd watch it all the time. Loved that host, Peter Tamarkin. Loved the whammies. Love that whole dynamic behind Pressure Luck. So this was right up my alley. And actually, the movie's just portrayal of the 1980s was not too kitschy. It just felt real and organic. And since it's an indie budget, it didn't look cheap. It just felt completely right for the level of budget and scale this movie exists upon. And Walton Goggins plays Peter Tamarkin. It's not a strict impression of Tamarkin, but it's a really great portrayal of a game show host. And if you know a thing or two about Goggins, he's had such a great storied career. You might like him from The Shield. I love him personally from Justified. I'm a huge fan of that show. I've not seen The Righteous Gemstones, but I do love The Hateful Eight, Fat Man. He's both a great character actor and a great lead actor. So in this, he's basically a supporting player, a game show host who's trying to keep things steady. He's trying to keep the ship steady on the Pressure Luck stages. And unfortunately, due to the actions of Michael, again played by Paul Water Hauser, Michael is a very unpredictable soul. Whenever they cut to commercial or break, he tries to go seriously. He does not follow by the rules. He wants to actually call his daughter. Supposedly his daughter is having her birthday on the day he's on Pressure Luck, and he wants to communicate with his daughter and tell her what he's doing, and he's trying to make money for the family. He's trying to impress his family and as well as his ex-wife. His ex-wife is played by Haley Bennett. What I really loved about The Luckiest Man in America is the portrayal of the actual atmosphere of Pressure Luck really hit home for me, really worked. I was locked in for most of the 90 minutes, and it leads up to a final decision that Michael has to make towards the end of Pressure Luck. Again, the game show is called Pressure Luck, so it's not a spoiler when I say towards the end of the movie, Michael has to figure out, with all the money he's made, will he actually press his luck and move forward towards another round? My main complaint or main flaw for this movie is the final moments, which is fine. Not going to give too much about the final moments, but I really wanted the ending to elaborate a little bit more about Michael, wanted a little bit more depth to the actual character, even though the Michael in this movie is pretty much a dramatization of Michael Larson. They set the table for so many interesting ingredients about who Michael is, what he's about, what he's passionate about, but I wanted a couple of more beats or a little bit more meat to who Michael was. He's not a cipher because Paul Water Hauser plays him, and you're ultimately interested in Michael all the way through the movie. And again, the Pressure Luck stuff is great. Watching the contestants go no whammy, and then doing the spins. I loved it. Again, since it's my jam, it was my game show back in the 80s. I think there was another game show that I loved called Child's Play, hosted by someone else, and Joker's Wild. I loved all those game shows back in the 80s. Pressure Luck was my favorite back in the day. So great performances by everyone involved, especially by Paul Walter Hauser. He's always great, at least from the stuff I've seen him in. And the movie itself is not trying to call attention to itself. It's just a really well done drama and a good portrayal of the 80s. Also, the score is sort of a synthesizer type of score, and it's very catchy. I'm going to try to find it on Spotify and add it to my playlist. The music score is really well done. It's not too much of a flashy movie, which is good. It's surprisingly subtle. I was actually hooked for most of the movie until, again, the ending let me down just a little bit. Left me with a little bit of an empty caloric aftertaste, I guess. But overall, I would recommend The Luckiest Man in America. Great performances, solid production design, solid music, and it's a movie, in my opinion, that if you are a fan of Paul Walter Hauser or are interested in the story itself is very fascinating. It's worth a look. And you might even disagree with me regarding the ending. You might think the ending is a lot better than I'm giving it credit for. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you think of The Luckiest Man in America. Thank you so much for listening to this review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff on Find Your Films YouTube channel. Again, it's very new. I'm going to put some more stuff and give you as much value added content as possible. Take care, guys. And again, thanks for watching this video. Have a great week watching movies.